Hey guys, how's it going? We took a little hiatus for the holidays, but we're back. I wanted to try something a little different here. I follow Nikka JP on Twitter, and they offer a lot of recipes that range from pretty clear-cut and easy to kind of downright bizarre, so I wanted to try some of them here. This week we'll start with food recipes that they either pair with a drink or includes a little bit of whiskey in it. I'm not using any Nikka in these recipes because Nikka Black, which is what they typically use, isn't exported into the United States. It's also pretty inexpensive, so I kind of thought that most any decent bourbon would work. This first one is a grilled banana. So you take a banana, you take a moment to struggle to master the complexities of removing aluminum foil from its packaging. It's incredibly difficult, and you're going to need to do it several times if you're going to be an idiot and do all of these recipes back to back.
There's no side effects. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The insert says it can kill you. No, I agree.
Make a little incision here. Then you'll hand pry these apart, which seems incredibly unsanitary, but I promise that I washed my hands first. This will be one of several things during this recipe that feel kind of visceral and weird and body horror-esque, so get used to that. Then you bust out your massive bag of restaurant-grade walnuts that I'm not sure why I have. Then you situate them in here as picturesque as humanly possible, not realizing that by the end of this recipe it's going to look a little bit nightmarish, but, you know, whatever. I'm not sure how Nikka got such a pleasant picture out of this. I'll do a little comparison at the end because, holy God. Along with some chocolate, you put them in there and you throw them in the oven. And while you wait, you can make yourself a highball. Why not? And then when it comes out, it is a gooey, flowing pile of brown. Not sure if this looks appetizing or not, but it actually tastes pretty good. So I would give this a 4 out of 5. This is pear cheese toast. It doesn't necessarily sound terrible, but it also doesn't sound like the most appetizing thing. So I don't know. Let's find out. First, we take some bread and some butter, chop up our pear here, lay it out in a way that looks visually appealing, and a few pieces of cheese on top, and it calls for sprinkling on sugar and cinnamon, which I guess the ways that they decide to balance sweet and savory here are kind of surprising. And we'll throw these in the oven. Then you have a Suntory All-Free because of all the food that you're eating. Suntory All-Free is sort of like a La Croix combined with a beer. It has no calories and no alcohol. Kind of weird, but pretty good. 3.5 out of 5. Quick review. Once it's all done, it's actually pretty good. Cheese and pear goes together. Who knew? This is a pretty good indicator of how all these recipes go. They're pretty straightforward, but they're just nice little snacks. I give this about a 4 out of 5. Here's where these start getting a little bizarre because they call for whiskey on the recipe. It wouldn't be so weird if it weren't for the fact that we're putting whiskey here theoretically on toast. What it calls for is some toast and some cheese on top, and then you throw that in the oven for a little bit. When it comes back out and the cheese is melted, you put on some yuppie-ass white people ice cream because, again, I'm eating a whole lot of food here. So a little scoop will do. Make a little divot in your vanilla ice cream and pour just a little bit of whiskey on top, and then cover in cinnamon, and you're done. It actually is pretty good. I was really surprised by this one. This might be one of the best ones. The small amount of whiskey blends into the ice cream pretty quickly, and it just becomes one cohesive thing. It's actually pretty good, like 4.5 out of 5. This next one takes the just put whiskey on something to the limit, putting it on one ingredient. So you're just taking a sweet potato and putting it in the oven. Once it's baked thoroughly, you take it out, make a little divot like you did with your ice cream, pour just a little bit of whiskey in there, and then put it back in the oven. And once the whiskey has sort of cooked off for the most part, take it back out and enjoy. It's not bad. It's fine. It's a sweet potato that tastes ever so slightly like whiskey. This one was the one that I was most interested in and wasn't sure if it was going to be really good or completely disgusting because it's several of my favorite things all at one time. It's a can of tuna with an egg on top, freshly grated cheese and freshly ground pepper. Pretty straightforward, but they show it being eaten, you know, straight out of the can. So start with your completely unbranded, nondescript dystopian tuna. Open the can, grate some cheese, and put that into the can itself. Have fun trying not to make a giant mess of your countertops while grating cheese onto it, which I did, and I'm not going to show you because, again, we're funneling this directly into the can. Then separate your egg yolk from the white. You can use the white for a whiskey sour like we've shown in a previous episode. Then just pour that in there. Then you just put some pepper on top and eat it, I guess? The photo shows it being eaten with bread, which helps, but I recommend replating it just so that you feel a little bit less like a raccoon eating directly out of the trash. It also immediately captured my cat's attention, and he wouldn't go away, so if that's not a sign of quality, then I don't know what is. But it's good. It's tuna and egg and cheese. 4 out of 5. The next two recipes call for soft-boiled eggs, so go ahead and make some of those. Start by taking too much time to make soft-boiled eggs. This was really the most time-consuming part of any of these, but I'm going to use half of these eggs for the next recipe as well, so whatever, I guess. For soft-boiled eggs, I brought a pan of water to a gentle boil and then put them in for 3 minutes, took them out and soaked them in cold water, and then took the shells off. For 2 eggs, this recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of whiskey, 3 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and 1 tablespoon of sugar, boiled in a pan. While those are boiling, grab yourself a knife and cut your eggs in half in a way that is not at all visually appealing for a stranger to watch. Then take 2 of your eggs and put them in a separate container. The recipe calls for a baggie, but I don't have any on hand, and Tupperware keeps from yolk getting everywhere anyway. Pour in your boiled whiskey and soy sauce mixture, and then leave them sit overnight. These are good. They taste like what you would expect them to taste like, and I like eggs, and I like soy sauce, and I like whiskey, so 4.5 out of 5. This next one's pretty straightforward. It's soft-boiled eggs with butter and soy sauce. I've been trying to get better at making instant eggs and soft-boiled eggs, and boy, I just haven't got it down yet, but I did this on the first try, so please give me a congratulatory like. These are just topped with a little piece of butter and a few drops of soy sauce. I think that melting the butter first would probably make a significant difference, but aesthetically these are pretty nice. As with some of these others, they taste exactly as you would expect. So if you like this video, I'm going to do some more of them, so keep an eye on the channel and we'll see you in the next one.